March 6th, 2023. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people, including our near neighbors, the Shenandoah First Nation and the Sauk First Nation, a beautiful place where we live, work, and grow. Please be sure to have your cell phones turned off during the meeting. Number 1 on the agenda is the approval and additions. I'd like you to turn to, excuse me, page 13. We will be removing the Firehall Steering Committee minutes and the Firehall Steering, at page 15, Steering Committee terms of reference and feasibility study, and those will be put onto Councillor Epps' Public Works and Protective Services agenda next Monday, March the 13th.
Okay. Move amended agenda.
Second?
Second.
Yes. All in favor? Carried, thank you. We don't have any presentations at this meeting, but we do have public participation. Public participation is specific to the Finance Committee meeting. If there is anyone that wishes to speak on other matters, we do have a council meeting following the Finance Committee meeting. So I ask if there's anyone from the public that wishes to speak at public participation to step up to the podium, state your name and the street that you live, please. Thank you.
Jennifer Burgess, 3837 Duke Road. I kind of like to start by saying wow, but the wow is not only for the fact that our cookie shack is now making it viral on TikTok, which is kind of a fun thing. But my wow is for the $44 million granted to the West Shore communities. And $2.438 million is coming to Metchosin. Shock and awe. So that's why I say wow. So it's, I guess I just want to point that out and recognize the uses that they're suggesting that it will be for, which I think is to improve infrastructure is one of the biggies, and additional pressures experienced by faster growing communities. We can imagine who those are. They do get part of the 44 million, but thank goodness we got 2.438. Grants are coming at the end of March. Comments were, I know our local governments are working hard to keep up with growing demands of their communities. They're talking about affordable housing, that's a question, in Metchosin, childcare facilities, road improvements, and recreation centers. Now, I gather this is in addition to the marvelous grant, federal provincial grant that we got for our school last year. So it's like, wow is all I can say, and I think great thanks to our government for recognizing municipalities. And I think the general massive grant was $1 billion to communities throughout British Columbia. So I might finalize that comment with the hope that we can pull together some strong community members who may help figure out the allocation of your $2.438 million. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bonnie Buber, Neil Road. First of all, I would like to thank the Finance Committee, in particular Councillor Donaldson and the CFO, for all their hard work on the task of budgeting. It is a very busy time of the year. As Jennifer just said, it has just been announced that in the news that the provincial government is getting funds to the municipalities for infrastructure costs. Metchosin will receive approximately $2.4 million. This is a windfall for us in a time of rising interest rates, higher than recent inflation rates, and world uncertainty. We need to be extra cautious. I would like to see this money spent to assist all residents of Metchosin. This opportunity requires careful consideration to realize the best bang for the buck. I'm also trying to wrap my head around our current budget figures, and there are some things that jump out at me. I use the word we because I am part of this municipality. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend the special budget meetings, but I am trying my best to be in the know. We have just purchased a new fire truck, and I noticed there is a request for a new truck for public works. Do we really need this truck? I hope an extensive business case has been presented. I also understand that we have crack sealing machine and a trained staff to run it. Why would we even think of hiring a contractor to do the work? I think a thorough cost analysis would prove that contracting out this work would be more expensive. Our roads are generally in good condition. However, it is the maintenance of these roads that needs to be addressed. It's not rocket science to understand that roadside maintenance, i.e. the gravel right up to the edge of the pavement, and crack sealing as examples are key to keeping our roads up to par for their expected lifetime. We are adding an employee in the administration department. Could we consider a part-time temporary be added instead? That way, necessary work order hours would be assessed and adjusted as required. And if the position was definitely needed to be full-time, then we could always make it a permanent position. In addition, I question the need for a part-time clerical in the fire department. This, I think, would probably have to be another unionized position. We have added only a few new residents and have limited commercial establishments. And I know there's paperwork involved with that, but how much could there really be? What I'm saying here is, hopefully the need for these two positions have been proven by extensive business cases. There's talk of a new fire hall down the road. In my opinion, there is only so much money to go around. The fire hall seems to be able to get most things on their wish list. I realize that our fire protection is totally necessary, and believe me, I personally think it is a compliment to our fire chief and her over-the-top commitment and dedication that has made this department so successful and commendable. However, it appears there is a lot of money spent in this particular part of the budget, and we need to realize there are also other departments that need to share the municipality income. Small amounts, i.e. pennies on many lines in the budget, add up to dollars. And if we need big ticket items, then we have to be careful with our pennies. These are only a very few of my concerns, but let me say this. In closing, a double-digit tax increase is going to be difficult for many, including the many seniors on fixed incomes that reside here. And the projected tax increase figures for the next years in this budgeting cycle are downright scary. Your decisions will affect every chosen resident. We need to ensure that every expenditure is absolutely necessary and is backed up with the best business practices. Times are different and times are difficult. Please be careful with our money, and thank you for your work.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next part of the agenda. So receipt of the minute. Oh no, we're not doing that. Number 7, reports.
On page 3.
Is that correct? No, page 3 was the. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Adoption of the minutes, page 3, special finance committee meeting.
Move adoption.
Second.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And page 9, finance committee meeting, February 6th.
Move adoption. Second.
Moved by Councillor Shukin, second by Councillor Gray. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Now number 7, reports. Page 15. Councillor's update.
I'm sorry, Councillor Dawson, did we do the, oh yeah, the Firehall steering committee's off the table, sorry.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you checked because some big adjustments. Okay, so my councillors update for this evening's meeting. Budget preparations for 2023. The operating budget deliberations are near completion with public input and staff engaging in further research on contractual projections for road surface maintenance, including a priority schedule to fit better the budgetary limits. I thank the CFO for meeting with me offline, both to discuss some of these budgetary things and help me interpret some of the manners in which we do the budgets, and especially the public for their input through this process. It's valuable to our committee to hear what you have to say, either at the podium at public participation and the emails that we've been getting as well. Those are all very valuable for us. Helps us in making better decisions here at the table. The budget deliberations will continue. The next meeting will be on the 21st, and it'll be the capital budget at 4:30, I believe it's a Tuesday, 4 or 4:30, but watch the website. Local Government Leadership Academy, 4 of us attended this conference several weeks ago. There were great presentations and breakout sessions, workshops and such. Some of the highlights for myself was the Code of Conduct, based on respectful communication, professionalism, roles and responsibilities of the functioning council. We will be updating our Code of Conduct in the future, and so there was some great information there as to what we could do with it. BC Assessment Authority had a session speaking about real estate trends, an overview of the website and the assessment processes, including how to do an appeal. Municipal Finance Authority provided information on the services that they have available. Local government financial management was also helpful with us doing our budget deliberations, cautioning us on doing things line by line like we did. We did that because of the new council that we have, and there were several questions we needed to have some clarification on. However, we didn't do every line because we'd still be there. So thank you for the patience on that. Other things were, there was a local government mentoring panel. I found this incredibly valuable, as did some of my colleagues from other municipalities. Inspiring speakers sharing their experiences when they first came into office, those that were returning, those that had a rough road from the people that they serve. So it was interesting to see and hear how they navigated those different experiences. So that was valuable, because now we're in the seat, not sitting in the gallery like many of you are. It is a very different experience. From the West Shore Parks and Recreation, we did get it seems that every month we have a presentation from their staff, and which is fantastic. They're an incredible group of people, very positive, and a very high functioning team. This last month we had the maintenance department give us a presentation to explain all the inner workings that go on behind the scenes and in a 24/7 situation, because there are people that work night shift there. I do encourage the public to go and have a look at the skateboard park as it's being built. My husband and I went down there about a week and a half ago to have a look at it. There's a great big tent over one of the skate bowls right now, and it's not just because of the snow and the ice, but because of the handwork they're doing on cement. It's quite an operation. They have 3 different companies that they're working with, and every week you see something new that's happening. So that's quite exciting. The Greater Victoria Public Library Board, Oak Bay branch is closed. It's been closed since January. It won't open again until the end of April because they have discovered some asbestos, so they're in the process of removing that. In the meantime, they have actually established a pop-up library in the Monterey Recreation Center. It's about 600 square feet that they have. And it's a very busy happening place, lots of pickups and holds, small collection for browsing, and their shuttle service from James Bay is very busy moving things back and forth for the residents of Oak Bay. They also, at their recent board meeting, their staff gave a presentation. They created a playbook, and it's called Community Inspired Library Service, Patron-Centered Customer Service Booklet. It's fantastic, and I'm hoping that I can get a copy of it, only because I was online for this meeting, so I didn't have access to it. I don't have an online version. The material in it would be very valuable for our code of conduct and our strategic planning. The agriculture portfolio that I have, there was an opportunity to attend an online meeting called the Regenerative can't think that there was anything else. It was a Teams meeting that we had, and resident Alison Leduc had got us connected with this group. It was the Ministry's Advisory Group on Regenerative Agriculture and Agritech were present, and they spoke on the work that they're doing. They're working with a committee which is composed of 10 MLAs with members from all three parties. They have a one-year mandate, and they'll report back to the ministry at the end of February of next year, February 29th, actually. The people that from this municipality that attended this this meeting was farmer Virginie Lavallée Picard, Alison Leduc, and myself. The Minister's Advisory Group on Regenerative Agriculture and Agritech was formed in 2022. Their mandate ends in May of this year. It has various components. They have Indigenous-led agricultural network, and the BC Agricultural Council are expected to develop a list of deliverables by the end of May. The ministry has a strong mandate to support young farmers, which is something that our local farmers are keen to do as well with young agrarians. They're also, they have a regenerative farming incubator program offered at Sandown Farm, which squarely falls into the ministry's mandate to support local food production. And they have an environmental farm plan program, which has been going since 2004, and they offer an on-farm consultation to help farmers complete an agri-environmental risk assessment. So lots of interesting things that are happening, and I look forward to meeting with them again. And I thank Alison for getting us connected with these people. It was a great exchange of ideas. And last but not least, the coldest night of the year fundraiser. We all attended on a very cold evening, and it was supposed to snow, and it didn't until we got home, which was great. So the council, this council has raised over $2,700 to date. There's still funds coming in. I have another email today from a donator. And in total, it was over $28,000 raised for the soup shelter and for their programs. So I thank Team Machosen, which was council, the fire chief, some residents. There was a number of residents. Stacey Ross was there. Tamara Ballard had walked with us. So yeah, it was good. It was really good. I was really pleased that we got out there, and we finished it. We took the shortest route. Although I did sign myself up for 5, but I was the only one, so I thought, well, better stay with the team. And we got out of there before it got too dark. So that was great.
Councillor Donaldson.
Yes.
Thanks again for organizing this, and yeah, a very strong showing in terms of the fundraising everyone was able to do, so thanks.
Yeah, it was good fun. I don't know that I organized it, I think. Did I?
You were the,
I don't know.
You were the person who got me involved. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I know Councillor Little has been there in previous, or Mayor Little has been there in previous years. So that's kind of where I got it from her last year's experience. Okay. So moving on to, yes, certainly, Councillor. Great.
I just wondered if we heard from Bonnie Buber there at the beginning of the meeting, and I saw an article in the Goldstream Gazette on the weekend, March 1st edition, and it's talking about our budget. And it says that the first draft of our 5-year plan forecast an increase of 11.7%. It goes on to say that the figure is relatively tame compared to the following 4 years, which are set to all be double-digit increases, peaking at 21.3% tax hike in 2026. year 2027 also calls for a 20.6% increase. I wonder if you might clarify for people what the report was about and what they found.
Which report?
These numbers.
I cannot comment on those because I was not referenced for this. I have not spoken to any reporters.
Yeah, I happened to see that last Wednesday, or actually Thursday as well. And I think what happens is reporters will look at the documents. They need to create copy. They need to fill up. So they will base their story purely on copy and may not even have a chance or the interest in contacting the actual politicians behind it. So, yeah.
I'm assuming what's happened, although I didn't check it, is that these are cumulative increases. So we have a possibility of 11% this year, which we're still working on.
Right.
And then I believe what's happened here is that the reporter, granted, didn't speak with you, but seems to have copied out the increase each year, adding them up and saying that, suggesting that there'd be a 20.7% increase or 20.6% increase in 2027. Much smaller numbers we're dealing with at that stage of the game.
And that is why we have a CFO on staff and we have deliberations ongoing. Okay, so moving on to correspondence, page 19. We have a letter from the chair of the Agricultural Advisory Select Committee, Robin Tunnicliffe, in asking for the committee to meet with council as similar to what the Parks and Trails did, so that we can meet them and understand where their goals are, things that we might be able to help them with, or what they would like from us in supporting their advisory committee as well. So I would ask for a motion that the Finance Committee receive the correspondence for information.
Yep. I'll make that motion. I want to speak to it.
Sure. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councillor Shipton.
Yeah. So the staff is really busy right now with the operational budgets, the capital budget, the 5-year financial plan, and the auditors. So they'll be able to arrange a meeting with the Agricultural Committee. I think it's a great idea. We've done it already with the PTASC. Hope to do it with MEASC as well, but it'll have to be after mid-April.
Yes, I did. We did have an ag meeting last week, and I did suggest to Robin to contact staff and arrange that to fit into their schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Any other questions or discussion on this? Okay, so I'll call the question. All in favor? And carried. Thank you. And so, no bylaws or other business. A motion to adjourn the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Gray and seconded by Mayor Lillard. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.